The sun hung low over the hidden leaf village, casting long shadows across the training grounds where Naruto Uzumaki stood panting, his bright orange jumpsuit streaked with dirt and sweat. His blue eyes burned with determination as he wiped his forearm across his brow, glaring at the wooden training dummy he had just reduced to splinters. "Not bad," he muttered, flexing his fingers, still tingling from the chakra surge of his latest Rasengan. "But I gotta get stronger, way stronger." Nearby, Sakura Haruno observed him with a mix of admiration and concern, her pink hair fluttering in the breeze. She had just finished her own rigorous training session, her fists still wrapped in bandages from hammering the solid rock formations behind her. "You're pushing yourself too hard again," she called out, crossing her arms. "If you keep this up, you'll burn out before the mission even starts." Naruto grinned, flashing his trademark confidence. "No way. I've gotta be ready for anything. Who knows what we'll face out there." His voice carried an edge. Ever since the village had received whispers of a potential traitor within their ranks, tension had thickened like a storm cloud. The Hokage had assigned Team 7 to investigate, and Naruto wasn't about to let anyone down. Sasuke Uchiha leaned against a tree, his dark eyes scanning the horizon with cold precision. He said nothing, but the tension in his jaw betrayed his unease. The last time betrayal had struck close to home, it had torn his life apart. He wouldn't let history repeat itself. His fingers twitched, a subconscious check for the weight of his kunai pouch. The mission briefing had been straightforward: infiltrate a suspected enemy hideout near the border of the Land of Fire and uncover the identity of the mole leaking classified intel. But straightforward didn't mean easy. The enemy had already proven cunning, leaving false trails and dead ends. As dusk settled, the trio set out, moving swiftly through the dense forest. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, the only sounds the rustling of leaves and the occasional distant hoot of an owl. Then, a flicker of movement. Naruto's instinct screamed danger. "Get down," he yelled, diving to the side as a barrage of kunai sliced through the air where he'd just stood. Sakura rolled into a defensive stance, her medical training kicking in as she assessed the threat. "Ambush!" she barked. From the shadows emerged three masked figures, their cloaks fluttering like ghostly banners. The lead attacker lunged at Sasuke, his blade gleaming in the moonlight. Sasuke's Sharingan flared to life, the crimson spirals tracking every micromovement. He sidestepped with eerie grace, countering with a sweeping kick that sent the assailant crashing into a tree. Naruto didn't wait, he formed hand seals with practiced speed. Shadow clone Juju. A dozen copies of himself materialized, swarming the second attacker. The enemy ninja slashed through the clones with precision, but Naruto's real body darted behind him, Rasengan humming in his palm. The impact sent the foe skidding across the ground, his mask cracking. Sakura faced the third, her fists glowing with chakra-enhanced strength. The enemy feinted left, but she saw through it, driving her fist into the ground. The earth shattered, sending shockwaves that knocked the assailant off balance. Before they could recover, she was upon them, a spinning heel kick connecting with brutal force. Just as victory seemed certain, the lead attacker rose, his hands weaving an unfamiliar seal. "Hidden mole jutsu," he hissed. The ground beneath them erupted, tendrils of dark chakra snaking upward like living shadows. Naruto barely dodged, but one tendril grazed his arm, sending a searing pain through his nerves. Sasuke's Sharingan narrowed. "Genjutsu?" he muttered, but the pain was real. The enemy wasn't just a traitor, they wielded a technique none of them had seen before. The masked figure laughed, low and mocking. "You're too late. The mole has already burrowed deep." With that, the attackers vanished in a swirl of smoke, leaving Team 7 battered and bewildered. Naruto clenched his fists, his mind racing. Who could have betrayed them? And why? The answers lay ahead, but the cost of uncovering them might be higher than any of them imagined. The dense forest echoed with the clash of steel and the crackle of chakra as Naruto lunged forward, his Rasengan humming in his palm. The air between him and the traitor, once a trusted ally, was thick with betrayal. "Why?" Naruto growled, his voice raw with fury. The masked figure dodged at the last second, their kunai flashing as they parried, sending sparks flying. "You were my friend." The traitor's laughter was cold, muffled behind the mask. "Friendship is a weakness, Naruto." The hidden mole jutsu was always meant to burrow deep, right into the heart of Konoha. With a flick of their wrist, the earth beneath Naruto's feet erupted, jagged spikes of rock shooting upward. He flipped backward, barely avoiding impalement, but the distraction cost him. A kunai grazed his shoulder, drawing blood. Sasuke's Sharingan flared as he intercepted the next attack, his Chidori screeching like 1,000 birds. "Enough talk, he spat, driving the lightning-charged strike forward. The traitor twisted mid-air, their body contorting unnaturally as shadows coiled around them, the hidden mole jutsu's signature evasion. Sasuke's attack tore through a tree instead, reducing it to splinters. Sakura, fists clenched, charged from the side, her superhuman strength cratering the ground where the traitor had stood a second before. "You won't escape," she shouted, but the earth swallowed the masked figure whole, leaving only a ripple in the soil. Naruto gritted his teeth. "They're underground, again." Kurama's chakra surged around him, his whisker marks darkening as he tapped into the Nine Tails' power. He slammed his palms onto the ground, sending a shockwave of energy rippling through the earth. The ground trembled, then exploded upward as the traitor was forced to the surface, their cloak torn and mask cracked. "Nice trick," the traitor sneered, but their voice wavered. Naruto didn't give them a chance to recover. He blurred forward, a golden streak, his Rasengan expanding into a massive sphere. The traitor crossed their arms, activating a barrier of dark chakra, but the impact sent them skidding back, their feet carving trenches into the dirt. Sasuke seized the opening. His Rinnegan pulsed as he teleported behind the traitor, his sword gleaming. But the traitor was faster, their body dissolved into shadow, reforming a dozen feet away. "You've grown stronger," they admitted, "but so have I." With a single hand seal, the forest darkened as clones, dozens of them, burst from the ground, each wielding the same deadly precision. Sakura's fists became a blur as she demolished clone after clone, her medical ninjutsu already healing the minor cuts she sustained. "We need to corner them," she yelled. Naruto nodded, forming a shadow clone. Together, they weaved hand signs in perfect sync. Wind style, Rasen Shuriken. The spiraling disk of destruction hurtled forward, slicing through the clones and carving a path toward the traitor. The masked figure barely raised a wall of earth in time, but the force of the explosion sent them reeling. Sasuke's Amaterasu ignited the air, black flames licking at the traitor's heels. For the first time, panic flickered in their movements. Naruto saw it, the hesitation. He pushed harder, his body burning with exertion. "This ends now," he roared, Kurama's full power erupting around him in a fiery mantle. The traitor's eyes widened as Naruto appeared before them in an instant, his fist connecting with their gut. The impact sent them crashing through trees, their mask shattering on impact. Blood trickled from their lips as they stared up at Naruto, their face finally revealed. "You really are something else," they gasped. Naruto's breath heaved, his fists still crackling with energy. "Tell me why," he demanded, his voice trembling. "After everything. Why betray us?" The traitor's lips curled into a bitter smile. "Because some secrets are worth killing for." With a final, desperate surge of chakra, they vanished into the earth once more, leaving only silence. Naruto fell to his knees, exhaustion crashing over him. But the fight wasn't over. The real battle, for the truth, had only just begun. The air was thick with the scent of burning chakra, the ground cracked and smoldering from the force of their clashes. Naruto's breath came in ragged gasps as he wiped blood from his lip, his eyes locked on the figure before him, Sasuke, his once friend, now the architect of their world's unraveling. The hidden mole jutsu had been Sasuke's masterpiece, a deception so deep it had shattered alliances and turned brother against brother. But now, with the truth laid bare, there was no turning back. Sasuke's Sharingan blazed crimson, his Rinnegan pulsing with dark energy as he raised a hand, black flames erupting from his palm. "You never learn, Naruto," he spat, the Amaterasu surging forward like a wave of death. Naruto twisted mid-air, his Kurama-enhanced reflexes barely keeping him ahead of the inferno, the heat searing his cloak. He landed hard, skidding backward, but his resolve didn't waver. "I don't need to learn how to give up on you, Sasuke," he roared, slamming his palms together. Shadows split from his body, thousands of clones materializing in an instant, a golden tide crashing toward his enemy. Sasuke smirked, his Susanoo flaring to life, a skeletal giant wreathed in violet fire. The clones shattered against it like glass, but Naruto wasn't done. From the smoke, his true form lunged, Rasengan spinning violently in his palm, its light blinding. The two titans collided, shockwaves ripping through the battlefield, the earth itself groaning under the strain. For a heartbeat, they hung suspended in the clash, their eyes meeting, Naruto's blazing blue, Sasuke's cold and calculating. Then the explosion came, hurling them apart. Naruto hit the ground rolling, his muscles screaming. Kurama's voice growled in his mind, "He's stronger than before. We can't hold back." Naruto gritted his teeth. "Then we go all out." His body erupted in a cloak of fiery chakra, his whisker marks darkening as he tapped into the full might of the nine tails. Across the field, Sasuke rose, his Susanoo now armored and complete, wings of crackling energy unfurling behind him. The final dance began. Naruto blurred forward, a golden streak, his fists a storm of motion. Sasuke parried with his sword, each strike sending sparks flying, the air itself splitting under their force. A kunai grazed Naruto's cheek, he didn't flinch. A chidori sizzled past his ribs, he twisted away. This was it, the culmination of every battle, every betrayal, every bond they'd ever shared. Then Naruto saw it, the slightest hesitation in Sasuke's stance, a flicker of doubt. He didn't waste it. With a roar, he feinted left, then pivoted, his Rasengan morphing into a colossal tailed beast bomb. Sasuke's eyes widened, too late. The blast connected, the impact sending him crashing through stone, his Susanoo fracturing like ice. Silence. Naruto staggered forward, his vision swimming. The dust settled, revealing Sasuke on his knees, his cloak torn, blood dripping from his brow. His Rinnegan dimmed. For the first time, he looked exhausted. Why? He rasped, his voice raw. Why keep fighting for me? Naruto dropped to one knee beside him, his own strength spent. Because that's what friends do, he said simply. Something in Sasuke's expression cracked. The weight of his actions, the lies, the pain he'd caused, it crashed down on him all at once. His hands trembled.
I didn't want this, he admitted, the words barely a whisper.
The battle was over. In the aftermath, the world shifted. The revelation of the hidden mole Jutsu sent shockwaves through the shinobi nations, trust had to be rebuilt, alliances reforged. But from the ashes of conflict came something new, a fragile hope. Sasuke, stripped of his vengeance, chose redemption, his path now one of atonement. Naruto, his faith unbroken, stood at the dawn of a new era, a leader forged in the fires of war. As the sun rose over the broken battlefield, casting long shadows over the scars of their struggle, Naruto offered Sasuke a hand. And this time, Sasuke took it. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in years, it was theirs to shape, together.